here at the Age of Steam Railroad Museum at Fair Park with Bob Lafrel.
Yes.
The Executive Director of the museum. Bob, tell us a little bit about the history of this place.
Okay, this museum was started in 1963 and opened for the State Fair that year as part of the History and Heritage exhibit that they had. And in the almost 40 years since then, the collection has grown in size and scope. And our mission here is to preserve the golden era of rail travel, really from about 1895 to about 1960, when trains were the preferred mode of transportation.
Tell us a little bit about your trains. You've got quite a few here, obviously.
We have a bunch. We have actually 30 pieces on display here at Fair Park, and we have some more stored off-site because we don't have enough room for them here. Behind us, you'll see a Santa Fe locomotive that was built in 1967 and used to pull the all first-class Super Chief, which was a streamlined passenger train between Chicago and Los Angeles. We have 4 steam locomotives on display here, and some of the earlier diesel locomotives that replaced them in the 1940s and 50s. But the real crux of the exhibit, the best part of the collection, are the old Pullman passenger cars built in the teens and 20s that are all first-class cars, including lounges, diners, and sleeping cars, when the first-class rail travel was really the way to go.
What's the oldest train that you have on display?
The oldest piece of equipment is a caboose built in 1896.
Wow.
Over 100 years old now.
That's impressive. What's your favorite part of this place?
Seeing all the children come in here and just, they're in awe when they look at these trains. You see them from a distance and you don't realize how large they are until you get right up to them. And a lot of these kids have never been aboard trains, and they're just fascinated with the size and the immense power that these things have.
You get quite a few visitors during the year, or is it mostly during state fair times?
We get a large surge during the fair, but we are a year-round institution and we get a lot of people all year long. Summer is a big time for us. We get a lot of the daycares, summer camps and so forth, and then we get a lot of the school field trips in the fall and spring during school for their educational programs. We do a lot of educational outreach, and we talk about railroad history and the effect that railroads had on the growth of Dallas and culture in the Southwest.
What sorts of things can someone do here at the museum?
At the Age of Steam, come and actually walk through the interiors of some of the cars. We'll let you inside them, look around. A lot of museums will not let you in the cars anymore, but we'll actually let you stroll through the cars. We give guided tours. We have a dining car that's restored, so you can actually walk inside and see what a dining car looked like that was set up for dinner back in the 1940s. We have a restored Dallas Depot, which is to the right of us here, to the left of us, that was built in 1903. That's the oldest depot left in Dallas that's still preserved.
Oh, okay. Was this area an actual depot at one time, or has this all been moved from somewhere else?
This was all moved from somewhere else. Now the tracks were here as early as 1936 when they had the Centennial Fair for the state of Texas, and they brought in the Broadway shows and the transportation exhibit for the 36 exposition. And then our museum basically just occupies those tracks that were left from that point. The depot was actually brought in from downtown Dallas. It was moved here in '63 when we opened as part of the I-30 expansion. It was going to be demolished to make room for I-30, and we saved it and brought it here.
Okay.
But everything else has been brought in. All these trains came out of regular service when they were retired.
What are your hours and fees?
We're open from Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And adults are $5, children are $2.50, and then we also have some special group rates.
Okay.
Once or twice a year we do an event called Dinner in the Diner, and that's where we actually serve actual railroad meals using railroad recipes in our dining car. It's a fundraiser that we do, and we serve in the old grand manner, the old impeccable style that the railroads had with the linen, the silver, and the china, and you can eat meals that were prepared at one time aboard the dining cars of all the famous trains. And then another event we do is called Whistle Fair, and that's where we have old railroaders come out and do whistle demonstrations to the public, and they show what the various signals meant to the different railroaders. And we're going to get an old steam calliope donated to us later this year that's from 1876 off an old steamboat. And while it didn't have anything to do with railroads, we're one of the few places you can go and still have steam to play an old calliope. And we're really looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun.
How did you get into railroads and trains?
I rode trains as a kid to Chicago and various parts of the country with my family, and it just stuck. And my interest is really historic preservation, and my goal is to preserve that precious part of that heritage in America, which was train travel.
Seems like a fun job.
Well, thank you.